Coach. How are you?
Doing great, thanks.
Just what are your impressions as we are just a few days away now from the opener and where you feel your defense stands?
Yeah, I mean, we still have a long way to go this week. You know, we just finished our early downs. We'll get into our third down tomorrow and then finish up with red zone and some special situations on Thursday. So we got a long way to go. I like where we are, you know, but it's a great challenge. Not just their personnel, but the scheme and the environment. So we have a long way to go here before we can get on that plane and go.
You have a lot of experience, obviously, but what's the biggest strategy you feel you've met from start of camp to this point?
Well, I just think we built some depth. You know, as a coach, you know, you can, you know, we call it the tyranny of comfort, right? It's easy just to play Jack because Jack knows everything. But if you have to wake up certain days and force yourself to turn the reins over to Kingston or to Jaden, or in the back end, turn it over to Luke Talek or Ben or whoever it is, so that you build depth that way. So I think we have built depth, and you know, we're going to have to play a lot of guys Saturday.
Colin Klein does some interesting stuff in the run game. How do you prepare for all of that as a DC, but also prepare the players so you don't overload them?
Yeah, I mean, incredible respect for Colin. You know, he's done an unbelievable job wherever he's been, and just love the scheme. You know, challenging scheme. A lot of different variations to it, a lot of formationing, a lot of shifts, a lot of motions, and a lot of different personnel groups. So it's a challenge. You know, they got the quarterback that it can run through. So we're going to have to be on our game, no doubt.
And then kind of along those lines, Coach Elko mentioned he had to watch 8-9 teams to kind of get a scouting report on Notre Dame's offense. What's the challenge of watching, preparing for transfers, but also what Klein did at Kansas State?
Yeah, so you're trying to put it all together. You know, what did the guys personnel-wise that are returning to A&M do really well? What did the transfers do well? And then you know, see how you make a guess on how you think they would be used in this system. Again, first games, it's always better to control your variables because you don't know what the other variables are. So control yours, and we have to execute, play really well, play with great effort and intensity, and just do our job. Don't make it bigger than it is.
Coach, because what has a guy like R.J. Oben been able to tell you about what Elko is capable of offensively playing in that system at Duke?
Yeah, so that conversation really hasn't gone down that path because it's more, you know, of what Klein has done. Certainly there's certain elements of how the head coach wants to conduct the game. I think that part of it is all Elko, and I have a great deal of respect for Mike and the job that he's done, and obviously the job that he's doing there. So you're trying to pair it together, you know, but at the end of the day, if anybody stands up here and tells you game one, they know everything they're going to see, you know, that's incorrect, you know. So we're going to have to be able to adjust, adapt, and play with a lot of poise on game day.
Being that it is kind of unpredictable, what's your confidence in the guys that you're putting out there, you know, you're switching guys out?
Yeah, ultimate confidence in our guys to run what we have to do. We know the challenges that they present, both scheme and structurally, and obviously the talent level they have, because it's really good. So again, just limit you know, the explosive plays, tackle well, make sure we're all on the same page. Just those simple things.
Coach, is a game one the game that scares coaches the most because of that unpredictable nature of knowing what to expect?
Yeah, maybe. There's a tendency to, you know, look too broadly, but I think right now we're in a place where, you know, we have to just kind of pare down now and just say, okay, here's what we're going with, and if X, Y, or Z happens, we'll plot a different course.
And what makes their QB1 so talented?
Well, I mean, I watched all his reps from last year. I mean, he threw the ball. He stepped up really well in the pocket. He threw some seam balls at Miami, threw the fade, the inside fade to number 3, you know, down the field, hit 9 on Diggs. You know, they got the back out of the backfield. He threw a laser wheel route against Miami. So, and then he can win with his feet, right? So they didn't run him per se, but he can run. And we're anticipating him running more.
Last question.
Kennedy Urlacher popped up on the depth chart. I guess where's his growth come from since he got here in January?
Again, a big change for him is that time from the end of spring ball till training camp. just working on what he needed to work on, his fundamentals. Got better with his transitions, his back pedal. Got more comfortable in the scheme. He's physical. Just got to, keep getting better and play with poise. He's got some guys back there that are really helping him improve every day, and we're really pleased with his development. Thanks, guys. Have a great week.
Thanks, Coach.
Coach, what allowed Faison and Greathouse to kind of take over that punt returner job?
I'm sorry, say
What kind of allowed Jordan Faison and Greathouse to take over that punt returner job?
it was good just to get Jordan back, especially for camp with the lacrosse season going so long and everything. But, we feel like they're a 1-2 punch kind of dynamic duo. And so just being able to show their consistency, show that they, are committed to doing it, they want to do it. And so, then they have elite ball skills. So that's what we're looking for. We have to protect the ball back there.
And then snapping-wise, Andrew, what do you kind of see from them to kind of pencil them in those spots?
Yeah, Cross has done a great job, even all the way back from spring. Having him, again, what we're looking for is consistency. So him doing the long snaps, Ringo doing the short snaps, and making sure they understand they master their role.
So it's been probably a while since Notre Dame's had return units that could really be dangerous. Do you feel like this is a group with the talent that you have back there on both kickoff and punt return that can be a really dangerous group?
Yeah, I mean, I would credit to the buy-in of everybody, and so everybody's embracing their role. We definitely have some speed back there, which is always very exciting, and so but it's not going to work if somebody doesn't do their job and doesn't get their block or do their assignment. And so again, it's all 11 have to be on, and that's the challenge on special teams and getting everybody to refocus and reload for that one play because they might have been coming from an offense or defensive snap. So being really disciplined and detailed is what really, I think, allows those explosive plays.
You've been on a staff that's won in College Station. Is there anything from that experience that you can help your players or even the staff with?
I think understanding it's, a field is a field, could show them the movie Hoosiers and show them when Gene Hackman takes them there to the championship and drops the tape measure down. But it's a great place to play. It was a loud environment, and so we're just trying to day by day make sure we maximize every single opportunity and put our players in specific chaotic situations so they can focus about what happens on the field.
Coach, what's the pros and cons to having two sophomores back there, I guess, in the return game?
What, the pros and cons?
Yeah.
The pros definitely are that you're going to have them hopefully for a couple years, proving they can do it. I don't know if there's a con per se as much as just getting them into the game. But the best part is this isn't like they haven't been on the big stage. Both of them have played, and so it was just a matter of time. And so we feel really good, especially, even Jaden Harrison in the kick return game. I mean, being a veteran guy, but all those guys are working every day to be able to perform.
We can hear the noise from outside when the guys are practicing here today. How much confidence, when you see the guys out here playing and operating in that kind of makeshift noise that you have when you guys playing out?
Really confident, and I think Coach Freeman's done a great job making sure that when we need to stress that environment, he does, and when we need to throttle down and make sure they can hear our coaching points, he does that too. So, they've played in big games, they've played in big stadiums, and so I think we'll be ready.
When it comes to punting, how important is maybe that first two punts or so to just get James involved and just have success and know, okay, I can do this in this environment?
Sure. We talk about one play every single time, so we don't even worry about whether it's one punt, whether it's 6 punts. He knows what he's being called out there to do and to perform. But just like anything, we want to be able to send him out there and know that he can perform in the moment, and he's consistently showed that. So we're looking to see that happen on Saturday.
Rylie, Coach Elko mentioned yesterday that you may have a good feel for his scheme. What makes a Mike Elko defense challenging?
Yeah, I think I have a really good feel for the defense. Obviously, I've been playing against it every day at practice for the past couple of years. He obviously has a good feel for my game and my tendencies as well, but I think they really do a good job of disguising everything. Everything kind of looks similar pre-snap, so if I'm able to, piece that apart and figure it out, I think we'll be all right.
And then you played in some hostile environments at Duke. How does that kind of help prepare you for what you're going to see on Saturday?
Yeah. Obviously, it's a huge crowd, and it's something you always dream about. Like, as a kid, you want to play in these moments. And I think it's just really cool and a great opportunity. I'm coming at it as just, my mindset is just like be a kid again, enjoy this. Obviously, I've played in a bunch of big games with a bunch of loud crowds, and we've been practicing over with the speakers. So I think I'm very prepared for it and really just excited more than anything.
How big is that first drive just for you to be back out there live and just feel that again?
Yeah, I mean, the first drive, I just kind of look at it as the whole game. But, yeah, it'll be great to be back out there. I feel like I didn't appreciate how much I loved and cared for football until it was taken from me. And obviously it was taken from me for a big majority of the offseason. So to be able to get back out there healthy, feeling good, taking hits will be a lot of fun for me. I just can't wait.
You kind of talked about it just now, but the defensive side of things, how much have you and R.J. Oven been able to help each other prepare for Mike Elko? You're the two only people who are here to know the system.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, we've had a lot of conversations about the defense, of course, and hopefully that's what we'll see on Saturday, but you never know these days. They had a lot of time to prepare, so we're kind of just preparing for anything that can be thrown at us. Obviously, with our defense, you see a lot of looks and things like that, so it'll be a lot of fun to play against that and see if they change anything up.
Elko mentioned it at media day that you and him had to talk a little bit about coming up with some sort of a script, of answers as far as people asking about playing each other. What was that conversation like? What was the script that you guys came up with?
It's good, man. Obviously, it's weird. A year ago, who would have thought we'd be in this situation? But we're both very competitive. I tell people that all the time, and we like to talk a little trash too. So it'll be fun, and it's not just him. Like, a lot of their coaching staff came from Duke, so to be able to play against all those guys, I'm sure they'll be scheming me up. So yeah, I'm excited.
Now, I know you answered this back on quarterback day when you guys talked earlier this month, but does it feel any different now? Like you said, you don't want it to be Elko versus Rylie Leonard. Does it feel different now that you're just a couple of days away from the game? Has your mindset shifted at all?
No, I think the closer I get to the game, the more I realize it is us versus them. Like, I just throw on A&M tape. I throw on, I'm going against A&M at the end of the day. We're going against A&M at the end of the day. So yeah, I don't want to make it about us. Hopefully that's not the narrative. If it is, obviously I get it. Makes sense. But yeah, I'm really just excited for our team to prove what we can do.
Talk about the offensive line, man. It's just like a young core, and experience 6 starts between 5 guys up there. But what's your comfort level, man? What's the conversations like with the young guys on the offensive line going into the season, and more importantly, going into Cal?
Yeah, Notre Dame, it's the mecca of offensive linemen in college football. So anybody who's going to be blocked for me on Saturdays is going to be the best of the best. That's who we recruit here. They're going to be great men. They're going to be fully prepared. They're going to be able to get the job done. So, it's Notre Dame. That's what we do. We run the ball and we protect the quarterback.
Have you had to have conversations with the freshmen at South Carolina? Have you had to have conversations with them about, hey, don't worry about it, we'll get it next
yeah.
year?
I boost those guys up, but these guys, they got their head on straight. They got a million different people telling them, Saturday you're gonna start, yada yada yada. I got no problem with it. They're gonna do their job great. I got full confidence in those guys.
Jeremiah Love doesn't lack any motivation, confidence. I guess how motivated is he going into this week, and what do you kind of see from him?
Yeah, Jeremiah's been great from day one. The off-season work that he put in to add muscle and put himself in a position where he could be an every down back. The work he's done out here tirelessly on the practice field to improve his game and his knowledge of the game. And then when we put him in spots to make plays, he makes them. So couldn't not be more excited about what he's going to do in the framework of this offense as we move forward.
And then you started Will Campbell as a true freshman at LSU. Is there any experiences or lessons you learned from that you can help Anthony with?
Yeah, that it's always going to be a little bit of a learning curve, right? And it's not going to be necessarily smooth sailing, but if you've got the right mentality about yourself, which Will does, which our young freshman tackle does as well, that you're going to learn, you're going to grow, you're going to continue to grind and work on the things that you need to get better at, then it always works out in a positive way, as it did for Will Campbell.
Heat, noise, which of those two variables concerns you more heading into this game?
Yeah, I mean, probably the atmosphere, the noise, you know. I mean, we've tried as best we can to create as much chaos surrounding our practice time as we possibly can, but there's nothing like being there in the real thing. It's hard to replicate. So how we handle that is going to be a real key to, staying ahead of the chains and having success offensively. It's a huge piece.
Coach Elko said he felt Rylie has the advantage in the fact of them two knowing each other so well. Do you feel that's the case, that he would have the advantage knowing his coach, or a coach knowing the player?
No, I mean, I think in Mike's opinion, Coach Elko's opinion, that's probably true. In my opinion, he's got the advantage because he knows more. So I don't know who actually has the advantage. We got to line up and play, and hopefully at the end of the day, we're the ones who wind up with the advantage.
Do you have to put different wrinkles because of that relationship, just knowing that their coach obviously and their staff knows him so well?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're different already schematically from what they did last year at Duke. So I don't know if there's as much of that. I think it's more making sure that the scheme that we're emphasizing this week matches the Coach Elko's defense and the things that we have a good idea that they may try to feature in how to slow us down and stop us.
Speaking of that defense, have you had a chance to talk with R.J. Oben about what his duty was while he was at Duke playing under Elko and what you can expect Saturday?
No, we haven't visited much about it, although, we've kind of grilled Rylie Leonard to no end about some of the things that he faced in practice, and especially in scrimmages when, a jersey scrimmage, for instance, that we have here that determines what color practice jersey you wear. The big moments when they're going against their own team, what are some of the things that they featured against him and some of the things that they tried to do to take him away. But again, I think the structure of what they were at Duke will be part of it, but I also think there'll be an influx of some of the things that you see from the new defensive coordinator who came from Florida and some of the things that we faced against them a year ago at LSU. So I think it's going to be a mix of a little bit of both. So we'll get as good a handle as we can and make a lot of in-game adjustments and get this thing rolling.
Your thoughts on the offensive line? Obviously, you guys felt comfortable putting those 5 guys up on the starting lineup. Kind of give me your thoughts on that and what it looks like with the younger guys now leading the charge.
Yeah, they're warriors. They're battlers. They're guys who football's really, really important to them, and they will get better and grow. And every time they take a snap, a live snap in particular, in a game situation, they're going to get better at what they do. I love how they're communicating together. I like their knowledge of the scheme that we're running and how to adjust it, and the communication that they've had with each other. All those things help lead to success.
Last question.
When you talked about off season rather, your intensity. Has the intensity ramped up? Are you feeling more juiced up coming into now during game week?
Yeah, game week's always a little bit different for sure, and I make sure the players feel it a little bit extra. But the excitement. My excitement comes from putting them in a position where they can have success, and then them going about executing it in a way where they do have success. And that's where my excitement for the game of football has always come from a coaching standpoint, and I look forward to continuing that on Saturday night.
Rylie, have you seen a run scheme anything close to what A&M's expected to run, just with them pulling guys from everywhere?
Yeah, I think now the team's getting guys from the transfer portal and stuff. Like you never know what a team's going to run. They have different personnel. So, for us, just about watching film, watching what they've done before, and looking at their coordinators and just trying to game plan off that.
And then what's the balance in watching film? Is there too much Kansas State film you can watch, or do you have to cut yourself off at some point?
No, I think it's good just to get exposed to everything. It doesn't hurt to watch too much, and for us, especially the D-line, it's really about, hey, these are the kind of looks you can get, but ultimately you got to come off the ball and knock someone back. So, it's good to have that in the back of your head, but ultimately you got to play football.
And then what's just your excitement level to get your last year in college just officially rolling?
Yeah, I'm super excited. This is the last ride. This is the last chance I got. And, it's something that, when I come out, we have a hot day like this, and people are like, oh, it's hot. I'm kind of soaking in, this is my last time I'm going to be practicing, on a hot day in South Bend, because this is probably the last one we're going to get for the next 2 months or 6 months. So, yeah, it's exciting, but I just take it one day at a time.
And then how about going into an environment like that you guys will go into, a hostile environment to open that that last campaign. What's that like?
Yeah, luckily I've been here for 5 years, so I've been through a couple big games to start the season. So for me, it's kind of something I'm used to, and I've got a good routine for it. And I think it's turning down the noise and really just focusing on your preparation. But especially for the young guys, if they haven't seen it before, I know everyone's gonna be excited. As soon as you get there, it's gonna be crazy. But just about keeping your composure and doing what we practiced.
You guys have opened away from home the last 4 years, and 3 of those have been in hostile environments. How much does that help going into a game like this?
Yeah, to have that experience of kind of knowing it's going to be crazy, but at the end of the day, it's going to be a crazy environment. For me, I love situations like that where it's hostile and, people are screaming at you. That just gets me going. So I'm excited for it, and I think, everybody here, as we get closer to game day, we're ready to, kind of show we've been practicing all fall camp.
Rylie, I guess, what has it been like for you going against this younger, inexperienced offensive line after going against Blake Fisher and Joe Altman the last few years?
Yeah, it's been great, seeing the young guys, especially, Knapp and Sam, and kind of showing them some things that, I've seen the older guys do and kind of get my perspective on it. But, also they come out with the right mindset each day. And, as long as they're coming out and they want to, they want to knock me back, I want to knock them back. So, they just give them their best effort. And, it's been great kind of getting looks from them and, seeing them kind of develop.
Have you and RJ Oben had conversations about what to expect from a Mike Elko offense potentially on Saturday?
Yeah, we've definitely talked about it. I know it's been big in the D-line room, just kind of what are some things, he's seen when he was there. But, ultimately it's, you can't really be sure exactly what you're getting on game day, so we can't sit there and say, hey, we're going to get this, we're going to get this. So we're just watching as much film as we can, getting as many looks as we can, and, going out there trying to play our ball.
Rylie, what's this defense capable of? It's got a lot of hype, obviously, with so many guys back. What do you feel like you guys can achieve this year as a defensive unit?
We got a lot of guys coming back, and we got, a lot of new guys, a lot of young guys that are coming up playing. So, I think also we look at what we did last year, and, we try to wipe that. We want to knock that out of the water. We want to be, a new version of ourselves. We want to be a new defense and ultimately set a standard that's, going to be the standard for, years to come of what Notre Dame football is.
That has been just the excitement for maybe just start with you individually after obviously coming back from injury. What's your excitement level to get into a real game again?
I'm ecstatic. Just being able to play football again is a blessing. So I'm just excited to get out there and compete with my brothers. It's fun when you're out there playing dudes who you generally care about. They have your back and I got their back. So I'm just excited to get back out there and start the season.
And then when you throw in hostile environment on the road on top of that, how does that add to it for you and your teammates?
I just think that's what's so special about coming to Notre Dame. You get to play in environments like this and atmospheres like this. You don't come to Notre Dame for anything less. So I think we're excited as a team to go into this environment. We're trying to simulate kind of just the same idea or the same environment, but obviously that's going to be tough. So just understanding what comes with it. So it is what it is.
You're getting to simulate the heat as well. Does that help you guys with what you're going through these couple days of practice?
No, I say what Coach Free keeps talking about is a blessing from God that we get this weather. He says to give thanks out there on the field the way you practice because I think it was 97 out here, and that's what's going to be like when we go down there to College Station.
What are some of the challenges or even advantages of facing a 6'6" receiver in the boundary?
I would just start off with one good receiver, good route running. And when you have a dude like that, you got to understand what could hurt you. Obviously, the deep threat. But also, he gets out of his breaks well. So I think he's a really well-rounded, complete receiver. So I think I just got to do my job of kind of scouting him, scouting their formations, their offense as a whole. But there's a lot of challenges, but there's also a lot of pros when you can kind of see what they're doing beforehand.
And then Coach Freeman mentioned it was important for you to take contact in practice.
Yeah.
I guess, was that like the final mental hurdle for you to?
Yeah, that was the final step. I was able to do everything else, but then once you put the pads on someone else, it's a little different. So seeing that I could do that and do it how I used to, I'm excited.
And then what does their quarterback do well in your eyes?
Yeah, he's athletic. He's very athletic. I think people don't give enough credit for how athletic he is. He can run the ball. And then his passing arm is really good. So I think that they have a good chemistry with the receivers and the quarterback. So just playing our brand of football, and we'll go out and see how it ends up.
Benjamin, how have you challenged Rylie Leonard and vice versa?
Yeah, I think me and Rylie were able to more so work together and just challenge each other from the standpoint of us both being injured. How can we stay present? How can we still make our voice be known when we're on the sidelines? How can our brothers know we care about them, know that we're here when they have questions? So I think that we really work really well off each other. I think it was cool asking him, like, hey, like, how are you dealing with this? And understand it was a mutual kind of respect for each other. Understand that, yeah, some days are tough, but that's why we come here, and that's why we're gonna choose hard.
You got game week like this, man. How do you stay calm and stay relaxed?
Yeah, I think for me, it's just my preparation. Me and my pops talk a lot about just our preparation and my separation. So that's my saying since even in high school. So for me, I think if I'm prepared, I'll be fine. And I over-prepare. So when you do get that feeling of the nerves and stuff, you understand that I'm prepared for this. I mean, you're prepared for this moment, and you can't allow the environment to change the way you're going to play.
How excited or anxious are you for that first snap, man?
I mean, I'm just excited in general. I think that just there's a greater appreciation for football when you are on the sideline and when you're injured and it's taken away from you, and understand that every single snap, every single play is a gift. So, I mean, that's what I'm most excited for, is that I could showcase that and just be out there and honor God through my play.
Last question.
Obviously, there's a lot of hype for you, but tell us about the other guys on the other side in terms of Christian Gray and Jaden Mickey and what those guys bring to the table as cornerbacks.
Yeah, I think their game speaks for itself. Mickey is a very good corner. Christian Gray is a very good corner. I mean, those guys are just special talents, different players, but they still get the job done. And I'm got the utmost confidence in them on the other side that they're going to do their job. But I think our whole defense is exceptional. From the 1s to 2s to 3s, we all work together. It doesn't matter what your role is. I think the biggest thing is just like making the best of your opportunity. And that's the biggest thing. If each and every one of us do that, I think we're going to go far.